Hey, Base Lightning here, and today's topic is cleaning the 392 Hemi. I don't believe in engine washing, so I'm going to give you the rundown on what I do to keep my Hemi clean. I do this, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 times a season because it's very tedious and takes forever. But as you can see, I will show you the uncleaned side and the cleaned side. I'll scan across. There's the uncleaned side. All I did was do a basic wipe down. I don't know how well you can see it. Let me get the light different here. There we go. You see, I've done a basic wipe down, but you got to get behind those coil pack connector wires, and that's the most difficult part, getting in there with your fingers. Again, I don't believe in engine washing, especially not modern engines with all these electronic connections everywhere. To each their own. But yeah, this one needs, this side is dirty. It needs to be cleaned. I got some crows flying by here, wreaking havoc. Yeah, whatever, just don't poop on my car. So, bring it back around the Hemi. And this is the almost clean side. So you can see the difference. So you can see here, I'll show you what I do. I mean, it's kind of hard to film and do this at the same time, but just take a small thin rag. It doesn't have to be a microfiber because you're not going for, you know, non-scratch finish here. You're just trying to get the valve covers clean in the coil pack areas. And you just take and you dampen it. I have some water here. Right here. H2O, just put a little bit on there. Not very much. Just a little bit. Again, I keep stressing that, very little water. And you take your finger. If you got big sausages, I don't know if your fingers will fit in there. My fingers aren't too big. They're kind of long, but not really fat. So, and like that. And you just go inside. And what you do, I can't really do this two-handed because I'm filming, but you take this and go underneath the coil pack and you pull it back and forth. It's kind of like you're drying your back when you get out of the shower, you know. Put one hand on this side, one on the other, and go back and forth in the coil packs. And that gets behind them clean. As you can see, I mean, it's not perfect, but it is a lot cleaner than the other side. And the coil packs are the most difficult area. The rest of it, you know, it's whatever you can reach. The intake manifold, of course, I keep that clean. All around it, all the components, fuel injection system, fuel rails, around the injectors as best you can without damaging anything. So I'm going to show you another tool I use before and after. So I have my shop vac. I have a mini auto detailing shop vac. It's an Armor All brand 2 horsepower, and it's perfect for this kind of stuff. I have it set on blower with the hose in the other output hole. So, and you just take it like that, just like you would an air hose from an air compressor. You just go into those hard to reach areas. Just keep going back and forth in all the little nooks and crannies that you can't really get to. Just like that, all the way up to your manifold. So start at the bottom or start at the top, it doesn't really matter as long as you get it all blown out. Probably better to start at the top. Like that. And just work your way down. Just like that. All around the front of your block, down in there. Your alternator, you know, everything. It doesn't shoot out the air so hard that it's, you know, gonna blow stuff out of connection, but it's enough to clean it off. Any gunk that comes in through your air grabber. Turn it off before I crank everybody out. This thing is loud, but it works good. But yeah, this little Armor All 2 horsepower, it's great for interior detailing, but it's also good for this stuff. That's the tool I use. To begin with, again, start at the top, work your way down, do the front, of your engine bay, down in here where your radiator is, all around the belts and hoses, everywhere. It gets leaves and gunk that comes in through your air grabber that gets stuck in your engine, gets it out of there. Your valve covers are the most visible part of the engine and what everybody looks at, so I'm not quite done with this. As you can see, there's still some dirt deposits in there. I need to get in there with the wet rag. I also use detailing tools for interior, and so you can get in there with those. That works pretty good, but if it's caked on like this stuff is, you got to get in there with the rag, and that's what really gets it out, you know. But this works pretty good for the coil packs, just like that. You know, you can just go around everywhere that you can reach. On the front where your throttle body is, you're right in the front of your intake manifold, you know, your air box, you can take that. I've already cleaned it recently, so I'm not going to take it apart again. Take my K&N drop-in out and clean the box out. I do that a couple times a season as well. And those are just some tips of what I do for engine cleaning. Again, I wouldn't, with any of these modern engines, I would not do engine washing. Now, that's just me. You can do that. It is probably going to clean it a little better in the nooks and crannies, all the way back to the firewall, you know. But to me, this looks pretty good for doing it by hand. It's not quite done yet. Like I said, I got to get some more of the down at the end of the valve cover behind the first coil pack down there. Get that a little better underneath the fuel injection rails. And you know, I've still got a little more work to do here, but I just wanted to bring you all in on a little bit of what I do to keep my Hemi clean, and then bring it around the front. And as you can see, I got a lot of work to do on this side. So I mean, I've already done a basic blow off and wiping, so you can see it's sort of clean. But you know, again, look at this side, and then look at this side. You know, you can see the difference. Gunk just builds up over time. Road dirt, it's mainly road dust. It gets sucked in from the you know, from your air grabber, because it's the way I use this system is stock air box. It feeds from the bottom. There's an air grabber on the bottom front grill that comes up from underneath, and it feeds air into there. And also for cooling, we have the main hood air grabber right here that circulates air onto the intake manifold, but also down in through the engine bay and up through the air intake box anyways. But your main air grabber is there. I don't poke the little cap out of the headlight and use that. That's with a Hellcat lower, you connect it there. That's all right. I don't like open air filter systems. I do have a video on CAI, so you can go back and check that out, you know, for me to get a little more in depth about CAI and what I select for. I just like the stock, you know, OEM airbox, and I use a K&N drop-in. So not to get too far in depth about filters, because this video is about engine cleaning. But yeah, so that's basically it. You just want to, you know, reverse blow and not have it on suction for the vacuum cleaner. All you do is switch the hose around, turns into a little mini blower, which is really cool. And that really gets all the nooks and crannies and the dust and dirt particles. Now, the only thing that does not come up is, you know, the gunk, the stuff that gets kind of caked on, and that's where you need to get in by hand and scrub it. I have a car show coming up, so I want to get this thing nice and tidy. If it doesn't get rained out, I will be in the Sport Car USA car show again, the final finale of the year, like I was last year. Last year was kind of by accident, but we'll see how I'm registered this time, so we'll see how that works out. I'll bring you some footage of that as well. If that happens and it doesn't get delayed again because of rain. We've had so much rain this summer, it's ridiculous in northern Vermont. So that's about it, folks. I just wanted to share that piece of information with what I do for keeping my Hemi clean. It is important to clean these engines. Don't just leave them. If you're paying that much money, you know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for one of these things, keep it clean. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a Hellcat, keep that supercharger clean. You want to do the same thing, you know, keep the valve covers clean, the coil packs, everything in the, you know, in the engine bay as much as you can reach and what you can do. The techniques I just showed you will work with just about everything or any kind of engine, even the old school ones with the carburetors, same thing, you know, blow it out, wipe it off, very little water. I think you can probably get away with a little more engine washing on the old school versions, but definitely not anything that's all electronic like these new modern engines. All right, so that's about it. Base lightning out, and we will catch you all on the next one.